Come and turn things around. Come and turn things around for your children and child. Forget you turn things around.
I want to thank every one of you, wherever you're joining from. Thank you for joining me right now. Thank you so much. If you have joined, please, I am looking at the comment section, the chat section. Indicate if you can hear me. If you can hear me, please just indicate. We are live and direct. We are live and direct. Thank you, wonderful people. Thank you so much for joining. Please share the broadcast immediately. Ụmụ Igbo, eziokwu nọ na nga. Nnamdi Kanu nọ na nga. Eziokwu nọ na nga. United Nations judgment has set him free. Let him go. Share the broadcast, please. That is the only way to let people know that we are live and direct. Help and share the broadcast. This is a live broadcast. Ebonyi State in Enugu, Chineke ọbụzi gịnị na-emenụ. Anyị ejebezi Anambra, Chineke gbanwe ọnọdụ anyị. Ụmụ gị na-akpọ gị o, anyị na-ebe akwa o. Leenụ Nnamdi Kanu, Chineke gbanwe n'ọnọdụ ya, gwọ ọnụ ya ọrịa. O jesanụ batanụ, anya tụọra gị mma n'iru gị o. Ebube m o, igirigi. Ebube m o, igirigi. Thank you for joining. Case closed. Case closed. I stand by my word. turn things around, bang one or one, turn things around, turn things around, turn things around, bang one or one, turn things around, turn things around, turn things around, bang one or one, turn things around, turn things around, turn things around, bang one or one. Ebube eluigwe gị ka anyị na-akpọ onye kewara osimiri uhie bịanụ osibi ka kpọwa Chineke ọgbara na ọbatanụ ihe siri ike ga-adị mfe ma chi m ọbata ebube m onye bịara n'obi eze ga-agba aka wee laa anyị abịakwala n'obi eze anyị agaghị agba aka wee laa. Share the broadcast. From the east to the west and the north and the south, we call on you. Your children are crying in Nigeria. Who will deliver? Who will answer us? Only you, only you, only you, Nalibo, Umibo, Naibakwa, Anye Janya Miria Poge, Nnamdi Kanu na Poge, Anye Janya Miria Poge. Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe, I call on you today. Come and turn it around in our favor. Onye kwezo kwa tupo ya nanga. Share the broadcast. Onye kwezo kwa tupo ya na mporo. Eziokwu nọ na nga. Eziokwu nọ na nga. Nnamdi Kanu nọ na nga. Nnamdi Kanu nọ na nga. Setịpụ n'aka nsọ gị. Bikwasa ya aka nsọ gị. Gwọnụ ya ọrịa ya mee ka ọ dị n'ike. O jesia n'ụbata anya tụọra gị mma n'iru gị. Share the broadcast. Yes, thank you for joining us. We are live and direct. Thank you for joining us. Ihe niile ala alụ kpọrọ ụmụ Igbo nọ n'akwa. From the east to the west and the north and the south, we call on you. Turn things around in our favor. As we cry unto you, as we call unto you, let our cry come to you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I am Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to you, depending on your time zone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I really, really appreciate your time. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you real good. Real good. God bless you. Case is closed. The case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is closed. Case closed. Case closed. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no business appearing in any of the Nigerian courts. This is a very categorical statement. This is the fact of life. There is no conflict and there is no dispute with this very statement I've made. The case of Nnamdi Kanu has ended in the Nigerian courts, be it the lower court or the Supreme Court. The case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has ended. This is the truth. Help and share the broadcast massively. Our people need to understand the truth. Our people need to actually understand the truth. The Igbo people need to understand the position of this very case. The Biafran people all over the world, wherever you are, you need to understand the position and the fact concerning this case. The continuation of the case of Nnamdi Kanu is to the advantage of the aggressor. It is to the advantage of those who doesn't want the justice to prevail. It is to the advantage of those who want to advance their career. It is to the advantage of those who want to advance their enterprise of betrayal and sabotage and subversion of the Constitution. This is the truth that is lacking on different platforms through different news and media outlets. This is the truth that is lacking. Some people doesn't want this case to end, even though the case is closed. They want to reopen the file of the case for the continuation of the exploitation of the gullible masses, for the continuation of the exploitation of the loopholes, the lacuna in the Constitution of Nigeria, for the continuation of the exploitation and the aggrandizement of their quest to satisfy their appetite for materialism. That is why that even though the case is closed, they want to reopen the case file. I stand by my word. I stand by my word. This is a live broadcast, and please, the only way you can help other people to understand that we are live is to share the broadcast. That is one of the beautiful things you will do in this very live broadcast. That is one of the most important things you will do in this very live broadcast. Please help and share the broadcast. The case is closed. I am going to bring to you the prophetic statement I made about 2 years ago, which is playing out now. I am going to bring it to you, the prophetic statement. That is why we need more people to join the broadcast so that more people will hear. God has been speaking to our people. Those of you who are my returning subscribers, thank you for joining us again in this live broadcast. You can also confirm that what I'm saying is the truth. God has been speaking to our people. God has been speaking to the Igbos. God has been speaking to the Biafran people through this platform, through me, by his special grace. Over the years, if you are joining me for the first time, I welcome you. Over the years, for the past 9 years, I started coming on social media to make videos and do live broadcasts and give prophecies in 2020. And all the broadcasts I've made so far regarding the case of Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafran people, they are all here on this platform, on my YouTube platform. They are here. This channel, they are here. On X, they are there. On Facebook, they are there. Across the internet. I am one of the major pastors that have been so consistent for so many years in speaking the truth. I am one of the lonely voices in the wilderness, speaking the truth consistently for several years. But unfortunately, most of the time, people don't want to listen and people don't want to follow the truth. I am going to bring that very prophetic statement I made about 2 years ago. I'm going to bring it to this broadcast today. I stand by my word. When I spoke to our people about P2B, they refused to listen. When I told them, don't go out for the 2023 presidential election because nothing good is going to come out of it, I made a broadcast on the 6th of July. I made a broadcast on the 26th of June, 2022. I made a broadcast in July 2022. I made a broadcast on the 24th of February 2023, the eve of the presidential election. And I made a live broadcast on the 25th of February 2023 as the people were filing out to go and vote. And I told them, repeating the same prophetic statement I've made in 2022 on the 26th of June, telling them that this election is not going to give you your heart desire. Your heart desire, you are tired of the pains and the sufferings in Nigeria. You are sick and tired of the poverty, the penury that the administration of General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, has brought upon your lives. You need a change. You want a change. And you think it is P2B by voting for P2B, you are going to usher in that very desired change that is ringing out in your heart. I told them that this is not going to work. The only permanent change you need is the release of Nnamdi Kanu and the referendum of Biafra. That was the prophecy I gave our people. I stood my ground, defending the word of God that I spoke, defending the prophecy that God gave to them through me. I never minced words. I never recanted my word. I never changed my prophetic statement. And today, it is very clear that the prophecy I made about the election of 2023, about Mr. P2B, about Nigeria, it is the truth. My duty as the servant of God is to speak the truth, to preach the truth, even when it is not fashionable, even when many people are not interested to listen to this very voice. Thank you for joining me. Those that are joining now, if you are just joining for the first time, I welcome you. This is a live broadcast. I am Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe. Case closed. I stand by my word. We need more people to join so that I can bring that very prophetic statement I made about 2 years ago concerning the case of Nnamdi Kanu, that every one of you may confirm that indeed this case is closed. That everyone may know that the case indeed is closed. In the next 10-15 minutes, I'm going to bring it to you. But please don't log out. Don't log out. Help and share the broadcast. It is important. This case is closed. The case is closed. Justice Binta Nyako has no business trying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the Federal High Court, Abuja, Nigeria. The case is closed. Please, you all should understand it and embrace the truth. That is the fact of life, and that is the truth. This case is closed. It is closed. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has won the case. He has won the case, roundly defeated the government, both the government of Muhammadu Buhari and this present or the incumbent government in power, that of Senator or President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You need to believe me. Case is closed. It is closed. Somebody made a comment under one of my posts about 2 days ago, and the person was asking, where have I been for the past 2 years? The person was asking, where have I been for the past 2 years? Because they have been expecting my live broadcast. They have been expecting my live broadcast. And I've been here. Although not on live broadcast about the case of Nnamdi Kanu, but I've been here. If you go through this channel, you will see all the uploads, you will see all the videos, all the teachings, all the teaching series and preachings, uploads, and all that. I've been teaching and giving a lot of messages, helping people in different aspects of their lives and challenges. And God impressed it upon my heart to come on live. I was live about 2 days ago, but the network was not stable. And of course, our tight schedule could not allow the live broadcast to go on. It was ended. And I made a promise that I was going to come back. And that is why I am back with this live broadcast. To agree and to remind you, in comparison to what happened on the 10th of February, the last court appearance of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that indeed what I told you 2 years ago is the truth. What I told you right here, I'm going to bring that very video. I'm going to bring it now. I think we have about 20-something people watching. Now, I'm going to bring it to the screen now. I'm going to bring it to the screen. I'm going to bring it to the screen. Those that will be joining very much later or very soon, they will also make that very important prophetic statement about 2 years ago. Here on this channel, we are live and direct. Anything I tell you is the truth. If I tell you this is what God is saying, if I tell you that this is prophecy, every prophecy I have ever given, those of you that have been consistent in following this channel, you will know that they are nothing but the truth. Anybody that doubts my prophecy, they are doubting the prophecy out of ignorance. Anyone that don't receive my message or believe in the message I preach or teach, they are doing that as a result of ignorance. As a result of ignorance. But those that know will actually confirm that I speak the truth. That is why you've not been seeing me on live broadcast concerning the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Because I said that the case has ended, and I said I was not going to cover the case again because it has ended. That was 15th of December 2023. That was 15th of December 2023. For the records, go through this channel. For those who are joining for the first time, go through this channel. You will see most of the videos, most of the broadcasts on this platform, they are dedicated to our people, to the Igbo people, to the Biafran people, and for the release, the well-being, and the protection of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because that is the only leader that God has provided for the Biafran people. I am bringing to the screen the video in reference. I am bringing to the screen the video in reference. And you are going to confirm what I've said about a few minutes ago. Glory be to God. Glory be to God. Glory be to God. Now, this is the video. This is actually a live broadcast on the 15th of December 2023. This is a live broadcast that I made on the 15th of December 2023. You can see the date. You can see the date, 15th of December. It was a live broadcast, as you can see, live, 15th, 12th, 23. That is 15th December 2023. Nnamdi Kanu Supreme Court judgment, Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe. That is the caption of the live broadcast that very day. That is the caption. It is on the screen. It is on the screen. If we scroll down a little bit, you will see the year. You will see it is about streamed 1 year ago. 1 year ago. Okay? Just like I am live now, just like I am streaming live right now, that was how I was live the day that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went to the Supreme Court, the day that the Supreme Court gave the judgment on his case. I was live on air, and I made a prophetic statement at the end of the court proceeding that the case has ended in Nigeria. And after that, I never made any other live broadcast regarding his court case, because that was what the Spirit of God told me. That was what the Spirit of God told me. I said it clearly that the case has ended. Some people did not believe it. Some people never ever believed the prophecy. Some people said no, that the case will continue. And I said no, that the case has ended. This is what the Spirit of God has said. That any other court proceeding regarding the case of Nnamdi Kanu will be a sham. Will be a sham. That nothing good will ever come out of it. That was what I said by the Spirit of God. Now, I am going to play that very live broadcast that you may hear. That you may hear and be happy that indeed God speaks through his people. God still have his prophet that speaks the truth. That you may be actually happy and confirm that indeed God has been with us. Here it comes. Now listen attentively. I fast forwarded it to where I made that very prophecy. It is about 36 minutes into the live broadcast. The broadcast lasted for about 53 minutes. And I gave that prophecy around 36 minutes into the broadcast. I'm going to play it now from 35 minutes. I'm going to play it from there. And after that, I'm going to bring you other interesting updates. Before this broadcast ends, I'm going to bring you other interesting updates. I'm going to also do some analysis about the 10th February Federal High Court outing of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I'm going to do that. Now, here it is. They're supposed to extradite him. Okay? They were supposed to extradite Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya and from Kenya to Nigeria. Not extraordinary rendition. Nnamdi Kanu. So the government, in bringing Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria, they failed the law. That is what the Supreme Court said today. The Supreme Court said that the government did not follow the law. The Supreme Court is Nigerian court. You must understand this thing. It is still victory. You must understand it. I'm going to explain later. It is victory for the Supreme Court to have said today that the extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu was unlawful. Now that the case is going back to Federal High Court, where Justice Binta Nyako is presiding, Justice Binta Nyako nothing contrary to what the court said today. Supreme Court is the Supreme Court is the highest court. They not rule against the judgment of the higher court. The case of Nnamdi Kanu has ended today, technically, in Nigeria. Listen to what I'm saying. Oh, listen that you may understand it. That will follow up. The case of Nnamdi Kanu has officially and technically ended today in Nigeria. Because Supreme Court have said that the extraordinary rendition of the Kanu was not lawful. It was not lawful. It means now that the matter is going back to the Federal High Court, where Justice Binta Nyako is sitting. Justice Binta Nyako court is lower court. Her court is a lower court. Her court cannot rule anything contrary to the judgment of the Supreme Court today. Therefore, that is the end of the case of Nnamdi Kanu, because the process that brought him back to Nigeria for him to face trial, the Supreme Court, the highest court in Nigeria today, that process was not according to the law, that the Nigerian government broke the law. Therefore, what they are supposed to do to Nnamdi Kanu is to take him back to Kenya. Then from Kenya, he will go back to Britain, because he had traveled to Kenya on British passport. It was through with his British passport that he traveled all the way from Britain to Kenya, before he was now extraordinarily rendition. And now that the Supreme Court said that what the Nigerian government did was not lawful, Justice Binta Nyako cannot go contrary to the judgment of the Supreme Court today. In other words, at the end of the day, Nnamdi Kanu will be released. So the case of Nnamdi Kanu has ended today. Technically, it has ended today in Nigeria. But as I've explained some minutes ago, the case ended last year between the 30th of March and that was when the case ended all over the world. But because most of the lawyers in Nigeria who are the representatives of Nnamdi Kanu, who are legal team of Nnamdi Kanu, they refuse to talk about very judgment, that United Nations judgment in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. They fought against it. I hope you are following. I hope you are following. This was on the 15th of December 2023. This was 15th, as you can see on the screen. It is live, 15th, 12th, 2023. I made it very clear right here, 36 minutes into that live broadcast, that the case of Nnamdi Kanu has ended. And that was it. Now, from 2023, 2024, I did not come live to cover any of the court proceedings of Nnamdi Kanu, because the Spirit of God had already told me on 15th of December 2023 that the case has ended. And I stood by my word. And today I still stand by my word. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has made it very clear again on the 10th of February 2025 that the court of Nigeria lacks jurisdiction to try him. That his case has ended. He has no case anymore in any of the Nigerian courts. The truth. The truth. The Bible says in the book of John chapter 8 verse 32 that you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. The freedom that the Biafran people are asking for, the freedom that the Biafran people are crying for will come by understanding the truth and standing by the truth regardless of the inconveniences. As exemplified by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the perfect example of what it means to stand by the truth, stand for the truth, speak the truth, regardless of the inconveniences. If you must be free, if you must be free. The case has ended, and there is nothing anybody can do to resurrect. There is nothing anyone can do to reopen this case file that will stand. There is nothing any government, there is nothing any lawyer or any judge, there is nothing anyone can do to resurrect this dead case. The case is dead, it is closed, and it is buried. No one can be able to exhume the dead body of this very case from the grave. It is dead and buried. This case has ended. Any money that are being spent in the prosecution of this case is a wasted fund. It is wasteful expenditure. It is wasteful expenditure. Our people need to understand, and the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu, they need to understand this, that there is no more business between Nnamdi Kanu and the Nigerian court or judiciary or the Nigerian government with regards to his case in the court of Nigeria. This case has ended. As I said, on the 15th of December 2023, it has ended. It has ended. It has ended. I'm going to do very important analysis, very, very important analysis on the court outing of the 10th of February 2025 of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Please help and share the broadcast. We are still live. We are still live and direct. If you look at the clock, the time is 52 minutes past the top of the hour. That is how you will know that we are live and direct. The time is about 52 minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. Regardless of where you are. Case closed. Case closed. I stand by my word. I stand by my word. As the servant of God, I stand by my word. The mark of a prophet is that what he says comes to pass. I stand by my word. And today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu agree with me. He agreed with me. And many of you today agree with me. You all agree with me that this case is dead. Now, I'm going to replay this very clip again, and then I'll bring the clip for the analysis. Please, if you have not shared the broadcast, I am begging you. That is one of the ways to help us to spread this gospel. That is one of the ways to help wake up those who are sleeping, hoping that something good can still come out of the Nigerian court in the favor of Nnamdi Kanu, that they will understand that this case is closed. It's closed. There is no need of filing anything anymore. There is no need of filing any process anymore in any court of Nigeria. The present legal team of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must understand that this case is closed. This case is closed. this case is closed. The more they continue to make legal efforts by the way of going to the court or filing processes, the more they are trying to resurrect a dead case. The more the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu are taking more legal steps in terms of filing processes, whether at the appeal court or the high court, it is the more that they are trying to exhume the dead body of this case out of the grave where it is buried. They must understand that desperate times requires desperate measure. This is time for them to understand and prove their legal expertise. I am going to do an update about the statement of Nnamdi Kanu concerning his lawyer. That is not for today. That will be coming up very much later in another broadcast. Now, listen to the replay of this prophetic statement. Listen to it again. This is coming from me on the 15th of December 2023 about the case of Nnamdi Kanu, which everybody has agreed with today. Everyone has agreed with it today. Some of you are surprised that you are hearing it for the first time. This was what I said 15th of December 2023 on a live broadcast. Many people doubted me, but today everyone have come around to agree with me. The court said today, Supreme Court is the Supreme Court is the highest court. The court not rule against the judgment of the higher court. The case of Nnamdi Kanu has ended today, technically, in Nigeria. Listen to what I'm saying. Oh, listen that you may understand it. That will follow up. The case of Nnamdi Kanu has officially and technically ended today in Nigeria. That was exactly what I said in prophecy on the 15th of December 2023. Now you are hearing it again in this 2025. To God be the glory. I did not speak of myself. That very statement was not out of my imagination. It was a prophetic statement that came from the Spirit of God through me. And that is the truth today. Because Supreme Court has said that the extraordinary rendition of the card was not lawful. It was not lawful. It means now that the matter is going back to the Federal High Court, where Justice Binta Nyako is sitting. Justice Binta Nyako court is lower court. Her court is a lower court. Now, without further ado, I am going to take out this very screen. I have taken out this screen. I'm going to bring another important clip for analysis tonight. Very, very important. Very, very important. Onye na-enweghị ihe o merelu akpọrọ ya tụkporo na nga. United Nations judgment has set him free, let him go. Ojesano bata Chineke anya tụọra gị mama. Ebube mo igirigi. Ebube mo igirigi. When the righteous man is seated upon the throne, everywhere you go, It is joy, joy, joy. When the wicked man is seated upon the throne, everywhere you go, it is crying, suffer, 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 tire, 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 suffer, suffer. From the east to the west, the madu nebapau. From the north to the south, it is trouble, trouble. Child. Now, I am bringing to you that very clip. I am bringing it to you. Very, very important that I bring it to you. Without further ado, I am bringing it to you right now. This is very important. This is very, very important that you pay attention. It's very, very important that you pay attention. Case closed. Case closed. I stand by my word. I stand by my word. I stand by my word. Very, very important that we pay attention. Now listen. I hope you are following. 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 Now listen again. Listen. Listen. Share the broadcast.
They turn the law upside down. Upside down. Upside down.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu just said? That why is it that when it comes to his case, they will turn when it comes to the case of Nnamdi Kanu, they turn the law upside down. But when it came to the case of Sunday Igboho, of the Biafra, no, of the Oduduwa Nation agitation, the law is very, very followed specifically and meritoriously. When it came to the case of Showore Omoyele, the law is very strict and followed meritoriously and strictly. When it came to the case of the Miyetti Allah leader, The Nigerian government followed the law according to what the constitution provides, meritoriously, and they were all released. Sunday Igboho released. Showore released. This very Mieti Allah leader released. What about the Boko Haram leaders? What about the bandits and their leaders in the far north? Released. How many of them are facing this type of persecution, locked away in the DSS dungeon? Not based on political undertone, but as required by the Constitution. He asked the question, why is it that when it comes to my case, the law is turned upside down? This is about 9 good years of the subversion of the Constitution, all the way from 2015. In October 2015, that was the first arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at Lagos State. And since then, every legal process concerning his freedom, concerning his exoneration of different kind of accusations and allegations preferred on him, have been marred with different kind of corruption, different categories and degrees of corruption. When it comes to the case of Nnamdi Kanu, the law is turned upside down because they have no case against him. Because they are scared to face the truth in their court. So the law is twisted and the Constitution is misinterpreted in order to suit the desire and protect the interest of the government, or should I say, the British interest. This is the truth of the matter. Why is it, that is the question of Nnamdi Kanu, that when it comes to him, the law is turned upside down? Why? And I'm telling you why. That is the reason. I am telling you why. This is what every Igbo man needs to understand. This is what every Southerner needs to understand. And this is what every Biafran needs to understand, including our politicians. They are not left out. Our politicians, the political elites, those that are holding public offices, they are not left out. They see how they are being treated, even in the corridors of power. Our governors cannot make certain policies on their own. Our governors in the Southeast, they are not independent. They cannot independently make policies, formulate policies, or give certain measures for the well-being of the state without the interferences and influences that are coming from the West or from the North or from Britain. This is the fact of life.
Listen, this is the laws of Nigeria. The prosecution and this court doesn't know the law. That is the fact. Poor knowledge of the law is killing Nigeria. Poor knowledge of the law is not the law. This is a federal gazetted law of Nigeria that says here that the chief judge of Nigeria cannot tell Peter Yeko what to do. It's here. It's your law. Just obey it. That is why I do what I do. I agitate for Biafra. I agitate for Biafra, my right to agitate.
Now, Biafrans need to understand that they have a credible and dependable leader. Igbos all over the world, Igbos, no matter your political inclination, no matter your religious inclination, you need to understand that you have a credible and dependable and reliable leader in the person of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. A man that can stand very boldly without cautious of the danger, without mindful that his life could be in danger, right in the court of the government that is holding him hostage in the DSS dungeon, making such clear and brave and exceptional statement. You need to understand that such kind of leader is very rare. The statement of Nnamdi Kanu is not a camouflage. The statement of Nnamdi Kanu is not a pretense. The statement that he's making, did very clip you are watching, his statement in the court of the federal government of Nigeria is not pretense. It's not out of pretense. It's not attract sympathy. If you look at his eyes, you can understand that he is speaking from his heart. He is speaking from his heart, regardless of his health condition, regardless of the torture he has been subjected to for the past 3 good years, regardless of the sabotage and the betrayal that is coming left, right, and center, even from those that he depended upon, even from those who are his close confidants. Still, he is unbent. Still, his resolve is not broken. Still, he is so brave and fearless, standing on a very puritanical background to defend his conviction, to defend his right to agitate for the Biafran people, for their freedom, that the sovereign state of Biafra will be restored to the advantage of the Igbo man, to the advantage of the Biafran people, whether in the east or whether in the south, in Benue or in Kogi, to the advantage of even our politicians, to the advantage of even the clergy, to the advantage of even the SMOs in different places, native doctors in different places, to the advantage of our children, to the advantage of the businessmen, to the advantage of the bankers from the southeast, to the advantage of the engineers, to the advantage of our people, regardless of where they are domiciled, whether in America, whether in Asia, whether in the diaspora or in Nigeria. Making audacious statement, very exceptional, confronting the enemy with the truth in their own courts. In Nnamdi Kanu, Biafrans have a credible leader. Biafrans have a generational leader. Biafrans have a liberator, an emancipator, a man with a puritanical stand to defend the truth and to fight for those that cannot fight for themselves. This is what you need to know. I have made several broadcasts on this channel. If you scroll down my channel back to 2020 up to today, you will hear me make this type of statement, make this kind of analysis, give prophecies regarding the need for the strict and urgent steps to be taken for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I have made it very clear several times right here on this channel, on my Facebook page, Facebook profile, X, and elsewhere, both on the internet, that this is the leader of the generation of the Biafran people. That the more Nnamdi Kanu is locked away in the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria, that is the more the Biafran people are locked away. Their destinies, collective destinies as a people, are locked away in the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria. Everyone needs to understand that this case is not about Nnamdi Kanu as an individual. Every one of you should understand. The politicians in the southeast need to understand. The politicians in the south need to understand. Nnamdi and his likes, they need to understand that the detention and the subversion of the constitution against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria is not only to his own disadvantage or detriment. They should all understand it is for our collective disadvantage. It is against our collective vision as a people. It is against our collective understanding, our collective vision, our collective potential, our collective fulfillment and satisfaction as a generation and as a people. This is the credible leader you have. This is the credible leader that you have. Not on the floor of the Senate. Not on the floor of the House of Representatives of Nigeria. This is your leader. You are seeing the future of the Biafran people. The man you are seeing on the screen in the person of Nnamdi Kanu, you are seeing the future of the Biafran people, of the Igbo people. The more he is locked away in the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria, the more the collective interest and the vision, the future of the Biafran people and the Igbo people are locked away in the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria. This you need to understand.
My right. They turned it from despicable felony now to terrorism. Stop talking when I'm talking.
Sorry, sir.
There are two. They think they can mess around with people who are not educated. I am an educated man. I can't show them the petition for the simple reason that if you show it,
What the judge said now was that the case file was.
I don't recognize anything being by letter said today for the simple reason that she has no jurisdiction to try me. None whatsoever. I came out of courtesy and respect. She stand. I don't recognize anything being by letter said today for the simple reason that she has no jurisdiction to try me. None whatsoever. I came out of courtesy and respect. She stands recused from my case and cannot try my case. There are things that are happening in this country that a lot of you do not know.
Now, the truth liberates. The truth emboldens. This is the fact of the matter. It is not only to know the truth, you should also be able to communicate the truth and stand by it very boldly without mincing words. If a judge has been recused in a case, such a judge has no right to sit on the same case. Justice Binta Nyako was recused and she honorably accepted her recusal in the case of Nnamdi Kanu. And there was a judicial order. She made an order regarding that very recusal and asked that the file of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be taken to another judge or to be taken to the Chief Judge of Nigeria or Chief Justice of Nigeria to assign the matter to another judge. That was a statement. The judge herself accepted the recusal. She did not argue with that very day. And this has been our prayer. Those of us who have taken it upon ourselves to pray consistently for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. This has been one of our prayers. For those of you that don't know, every Saturday we hold prayers for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Every Saturday. Every Saturday we hold prayers for him. Last month, we concluded our 1-month fasting and prayer. His case was also on the list. This month, very soon, there will be another section of fasting and prayer. His case will also be there on the list. In 2022, our church shut down for 3 good months, for 3 consecutive months, from the 2nd of January 2022 to the 31st of March 2022. In prayers for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, for Biafra, for the referendum, and before the end of the 3 months fasting and prayer that we held, which I convened by the grace of God, as instructed by the Spirit of God, the United Nations judgment came. The United Nations judgment that many of you are talking about today was made possible by major impact, by major spiritual force that came as a result of our 3 months fasting and prayers. Justice Binta Nyako accepted the recusal and she stepped aside. She stepped aside. And now the federal government want to bring her back to the same case from which she was recused. That is the subversion of the Constitution. That is injustice, and it can never stand. It can never stand. This case is closed. You must understand that there is a very spiritual embargo that is resting so heavily upon the government of Nigeria. This you need to understand. There is a spiritual force. There is a spiritual barrier. We have been able to mount a very strong and immovable spiritual barrier against the advancement of the government, that the government can never be able to claim victory in this case. This case is closed. I stand by my word. She was brought back to make sure that the Constitution is persistently and continuously subverted, leading to the conviction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a way of solving her own family problem, which is the corruption charges of the husband and the son, and also to the advantage of the British interest, which is bent on making sure that the indigenous people in this part of the world does not realize their full potential by holding down in clutches and in chains and in shackles the freedom of Biafra. This you need to know. We must continue. Please help and share the broadcast. If you are just joining, I am Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe. Help share this broadcast that others may know that we are live and direct. We are live and direct. Those that are joining now, thank you for joining us. I love every one of you. You may not see my face all the time on live broadcast, but you must understand that I am very much occupied with your welfare and your well-being as an Igbo man, as an Igbo woman, as a Biafran. We have always been on prayers. I am not boasting on air. Those of you that are offline who understand what we are doing offline, you will agree with me. We don't play to the gallery. I don't play to the gallery. It is not a competition. The truth will prevail. This case is closed. And the spiritual embargo we have laid upon the government in this case, they cannot be able to lift it up. They cannot be able to remove it. Nnamdi Kanu has won this very case fair and square. This is the truth, and we stand by him. Now listen.
It is my duty to make that very, very clear to all of you today. Because the lies are too much. The lies are too much. I sent a petition to NJC. I don't want to talk about it. Justice Binta Nyako is using her position for personal gain. For personal gain.
Now, if you want this broadcast to go very far, like the broadcast, like it immediately. Like. This is one of the ways that YouTube will recommend people to this video, that they will watch and understand the truth. That they will watch. Believe me, there is no one that will watch this broadcast from the beginning to the end of it that will not agree with us that Nnamdi Kanu is on the right path and that the case is closed and there is no other business between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his legal team with the Nigerian court. And that will begin to help every one of us to begin to think of the way forward. We have to like this video, like it, share it everywhere that you know, that the YouTube will begin to push this video and recommend it to all and sundry across the YouTube channels. Please, it's important. Share it to Facebook. People on Facebook need to come over to watch. Share it on TikTok, on Instagram. Share it on X. Everywhere you know. Share it on WhatsApp. You are helping to spread the truth. You are helping to liberate the mind of our people. We made the mistake in P2B. I said we because I'm talking as an Igbo man. I was not part of the election. I was not part of it. I spoke consistently in prophecy, condemning the effort our people were putting in order to elect Mr. P2B to become the next president of Nigeria. I spoke on the 26th of June. It is here on this channel. 26th of June. If you go to this very channel after the broadcast, scroll down to the 26th of June, you will see live broadcast that I made telling our people that P2B was not the way to go for the emancipation of the Igbo man. I told them that voting an Igbo man in the person of P2B was not the way to bring about that very long desire of realizing the full potential of the Igbo man. I made the prophecy categorically, so clearly. I spoke, I prophesied. Our people refused to listen. Because when they go to Abuja, the crowd of Labour Party was so huge. When they go to Benue State, the crowd of Labour Party, the popularity of Mr. P2B was towering and dominating the political landscape of Nigeria. And I told our people, don't be distracted by the crowd you see, who are singing Obi Nwannem, Obi Nwannem, Obi Kererenke, LP, LP. Today, who is hearing those songs? Today, who is hearing those very songs that distracted the attention of our people? I was on top of my voice in prophecy. I was preaching and prophesying. Even when the crowd was so much, even when my preachings and prophecies didn't make any common sense to the ordinary man, I kept on speaking the same thing that God told me, that P2B was a distraction to the release of Nnamdi Kanu, that he can never emerge as the president of Nigeria. He can never be allowed to be the president of Nigeria. I said it in prophecy. When P2B traveled to the diaspora, when he traveled to Britain, he was invited to the Cheltenham or Buckingham Palace. He was there. Our people say, oh, this is an endorsement from the British government. They are endorsing Mr. P2B for the presidential race of Nigeria in 2023. And I told them that all of these, they are sham. It can never work. I was on this very channel broadcasting and shouting on top of my voice as I'm broadcasting right now. In the month of July 2022, I repeated the same prophecy. On the 24th of February 2023, I repeated the same prophecy. On the day of presidential election, 25th of February 2023, I repeated the same prophecy. People were shouting and they were so excited. There was a lot of carnival by different celebrities all over the world, and more especially in Nigeria, in favor of Mr. P2B. My voice was a lonely voice in the wilderness. My voice was so tiny, it couldn't even come out. The noise of distraction could not allow people to hear my voice and to pay attention and focus on releasing Nnamdi Kanu. All of them were focusing on Mr. P2B. All of them were focusing on the 2023 presidential election. All of them were focusing on Igbo presidency. And I told them, you are making a regrettable mistake that is going to cost you so dearly. I told them that they should mark the date of the prophecy, that after all said and done, they will come back to this very channel. They will come back to the realization of this very prophecy that Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe, that I was right. And today, how many years down the line, where is Mr. P2B today? Who is in power today? Who is the president of Nigeria today? As I said in prophecy, it has come to pass. It has come to pass. You cannot doubt my prophecy. I have told you so many things in prophecy. There are catalog of prophecies have been given since 2020 for our people. So many. When you scroll down to this channel, the content that dominates this channel has been the content dedicated to the enlightenment of our people, dedicated to speaking and standing for the truth, dedicated to praying for Mazi and Kanu, encouraging our people to embrace the truth, dedicated to the well-being of our people. A lot of resources has been spent in all our enlightenment broadcasts and programs, both offline and online. A lot of money has been spent trying to teach and educate our people that the leader you have is Nnamdi Kanu, that the generational leader that you have is Nnamdi Kanu. It goes in through the right ear and speedily goes out through the left ear. But we are still here. I have never changed. Neither will I change. Never. Because we have sworn to speak the truth and lie not. 3 years down the line, 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, you will come back to the inescapable conclusion and acceptance that indeed I spoke the truth. Behold your leader. You have no other leader. if the Igbo man must be protected and reach his full potential, if the Southerner must be protected and fulfill his or her full potential in life, if we as Biafrans or Igbo people will be able to enjoy this liberty, this very Republican lifestyle, this very democracy, the blessing of self-realization and determination, we must rally round to show our full support, to demonstrably prove that we have adopted and accepted and embraced the person of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the leader that God has provided for us in this generation. We must continue. Like the broadcast. Like it. Share it. Those of you that are liking and commenting and sharing, thank you very much. What you are doing, you are helping the world to understand the truth. You are helping the YouTube algorithm to push this video, this broadcast, to much people, that they may know the truth, that they may wake up and embrace the truth, that it may be well with our race and our generation.
Her son and her husband are facing corruption charges.
Now listen.
For personal, I sent a petition to NKC. I don't want to talk about it. Justice Binta Nyatu is using her position for personal gain. For personal gain. Her son and her husband are facing corruption charges. And they told them that if they convict me, this is what happens. You can see it. They don't want the truth to come out. Nobody wants the truth to come out. Nobody wants the truth to come out. That's the problem. I'm facing corruption charges. They sent her to my case so they can release or smoothen the pathway for the husband and the son. Who have the light? They are facing. It doesn't matter the office. In a corrupt society, that's what happens. They are very, very corrupt. There is a breach of judicial oath. They have violated the judicial oath. They have shown bias according to Supreme Court. They are biased against it. Supreme Court said so. And that is why what is happening in the judgments and rulings concerning this has been happening. So, disobedience to superior court orders. Supreme Court said you are biased. You are against this man. You should not have revoked his bail. Nigeria went to Kenya and kidnapped him. These things are in the public domain. Why, therefore, are they insisting on trying me? A court order was entered. In that very court order, it was said very clearly and simply that he is no more. No. He did something in my case. I refused him. He was found for fish.
Now, I want to respond to somebody. Someone made a statement in the chat section. I want to respond to it quickly to correct a misinterpretation or a misrepresentation of this statement I've made about Mr. P2B. That is the problem our people have. Our people are, most of our people, let me say, are very scared to embrace the truth with open arms. Our people, most of our people are very selective in accepting and embracing the truth, which is very, very unfortunate. Even at this point, somebody is still defending Mr. P2B for coming out of context for the Igbo presidency, which has taken us about 2 or 3 years backward. If you don't understand what it means, the distraction that the Igbo presidency cost the Biafran people has contributed in the continual persecution and detention of Nnamdi Kanu, and by extension, the delay of the same thing they are asking for, which is supposed to come through the Biafra independence. This is what you need to understand. Now, Oscar Blackbone, I don't know if you are subscribed to this channel. You are the person I'm responding to. I'm responding to your comment in the chat section. Please, if you are not subscribed to this channel, you will not really understand where we are coming from. And more especially, if you have not been following up my broadcast and my teachings and videos regarding the case of Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra issue, you will not understand where I am coming from. It is very important that after this broadcast, go to this channel, come back to this channel, scroll down, look at all the titles of the videos, both the live broadcast and the uploaded videos. Listen to them. If you have data, listen in details. Listen not in a hurry. Listen from one video to another, from one video to another. By the time you watch 5 videos or 4 videos from the beginning to the end on the Biafra issue and the Nnamdi Kanu, you will not make this type of statement you are making in the chat section. You will not. With open mind. There is no way you will watch my videos, my preachings, whether it is live broadcast or uploaded videos on the issue of Mazi, Nnamdi Kanu or Biafra, and particularly the election or the aspiration of Mr. Peter Obi to become the president of Nigeria in the 2023 election. There is no way you will watch that video that I made, the prophecy that I gave on the 26th of June, 2022, that you will make this type of statement, please. I am not saying anything to condemn the constitutional right of Mr. Peter Obi to contest to become the president of Nigeria. But the question is, to what extent? How does that benefit the interest of the Igbo man? How does that benefit and actually guarantee in a long term, not in a short term, not within a 4-year term or 8-year term? How would that guarantee the industrialization of the South or the East? How would that guarantee the rule of law? How would that guarantee and secure a viable future for our children unborn? How would that turn around the Southeast or turn around the South to become the industrial hub, the tech hub, to become a viable economy for the whole world to come to invest without the influence of the North or the West or Britain? Whatever you will have or whatever you would have gotten through the presidency of Mr. Peter Obi will be as good as the short term of the president of Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. No difference. It cannot last. The energy that our people put into the support of Mr. Peter Obi, if they put it into the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we would have been far more better than where we are today. That is the truth. That is the truth. It was a wasted opportunity. It was a wasted jamboree. It was a wasted opportunity. Do you know that it contributed to a great extent to delay the circulation of the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the ultimatum that was given by the United Nations judgment? Do you know that the emergence of Mr. Peter Obi as the hopeful presidential candidate for the Igbo presidency contributed in a great details to slowing down the process that was supposed to be taken to enforce the United Nations judgment, the ultimatum that was given to the Nigerian government to release Nnamdi Kanu within 6 months? Do you understand that the emergence of Mr. Peter Obi has contributed to the elongated detention and persecution and torture of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? which by extension has continued to sustain the killing spree that is going on in the Southeast. It has continued to sustain the kidnapping and different kind of criminality that are going on now in the Southeast. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been released, all the criminals who are hiding under the guise of his detention in committing all those heinous crimes, killings and abductions for ransom, all of them would have flown away. All of them would have run away. All of them would have run away from the Southeast. They would have. The emergence of Mr. P2B distracted our people a lot. And that has contributed to the continuation of this injustice for extra 3 more years going to 4 years. This you need to understand. Obi's presidency was not independent of MNK's detention. Yes, this you need to understand. I'm still responding to Oscar Blackbone. I am feeding our people with the truth. I'm responding to your recent comment in the chat section. Because you don't understand how social engineering works. You don't understand it. Do you know what is social engineering? You don't understand it. Do you understand? Because our people saw the presidency of Mr. P2B as a best alternative to the release of Nnamdi Kanu or the Biafra agitation. They believe that if Mr. P2B becomes the president of Nigeria, that he will release Nnamdi Kanu. Oscar, I am still responding to you, more especially your recent comment in the chat section. They believed that if Mr. P2B, if the Igbo people should galvanize support, they should rally around Mr. P2B and fight with their PVCs and vote him massively, and he wins the election and sworn in as the president of Nigeria, that he was going to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the DSS dungeon. That was the impression. That was the narrative that was sold to our people. And our people say, well, if that be the case, let us forget about talking about Nnamdi Kanu and begin to talk about voting Mr. P2B into power. When he gets into Asorok, he will become the president, and then he's going to give his order. He will use his executive powers to discontinue the case of Nnamdi Kanu. That was the narrative that was sold to our people. Oscar, I hope you have not forgotten this. Because our people sometimes will suffer from short memory. We forget so soon, so quickly, and so easily. We don't retain the truth for a very long time. We don't hold the fact and history so tightly and very close to our chest. And that is why we continue to run around within a vicious circle like a blind horse without making a headway. Oscar, I am reminding you, that was exactly what happened. And our people jettisoned talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Do you know that many people that were preaching and campaigning and broadcasting for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, many of them became the campaigners and supporters of Mr. P2B? Many of them abandoned their platforms, or some of them converted their platforms for the campaign of the Igbo presidency and the campaign of the presidency of Mr. P2B. They stopped talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because they believe the possibility that Nigerians are tired of Mr. Buhari, that Nigerians are so fed up, they needed a change. And they saw that very change in the person or in the political track record of Mr. P2B. And they abandoned every discussion concerning the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And they were now championing and campaigning for the election of Mr. P2B. And that took us about 3 years. 3 years. 3 years. And the impact, we are still suffering it today. I don't want to say more than this, Mr. Oscar. I don't want to say more than this. Moving on. That is the truth. Because I promise you, the only thing you will find on this channel is nothing but the truth. Whether I am talking about Biafra, I speak the truth. If I'm teaching you about any other thing from the word of God, it is still the truth that I teach and I preach.
that he is no more. No. He did something in my case. I refused him. He was focused on issue. I asked.
He was trying to say that the Justice Bintanyako has a personal interest in making sure that the son or the husband who are facing corruption charges, according to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is saying here, that she should be able to trade their freedom with that of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That if she can succeed in convicting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and jailing him, that the case of his husband and his son will be ended. So it's now a kind of trade by barter. And that is why that after the recusal of this judge, they have to bring her back to sit on the same case to secure the conviction of Nnamdi Kanu. And do you know, without prayers, I am saying this and it's the truth, without prayers, they would have succeeded in convicting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They would have succeeded in convicting him. It has been prayer, the spiritual force that we have been pulling out from the altars of prayers that have laid a very strong embargo, have mounted a very strong obstacle to the government in convicting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This you need to know. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows it. And a very close other people, they understand it very well.
Why, therefore, are they insisting on trying me? A court order was entered. In that very court order, it was said very clearly and simply that he is no more. No. He did something in my case. I refused him. He was focused on issue. I asked him to release himself. Why did the chief judge insist I was right? He left my case. No, I cannot. Because I have a court order. I have a court order. You have released yourself. I have a court order. Anybody who disagrees with this order of God, go to appeal court. That's what you tell me all the time. You have come to submission. You cannot decide over this case number again. What is this life? You cannot. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. And one over here cannot force this court to preside on my case. You cannot. Not today, not till forever. You are recused and you stand recused. Tell me this judge. No.
I love the boldness of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, even right inside the court, looking the judge in the eye and telling her that she cannot try him in that court. That she has nothing to do with the case anymore. Not just for now. But according to him, not today, not tomorrow, forever. That is how it's supposed to be very bold and stand for the truth. There is no two ways about it. There is no diplomacy about it. Because you cannot continue to go round and round and round and round, trying to be so politically correct, trying to be so diplomatic, and there is more troubles, there is more issues. The life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in danger. He has not received a proper medical care for the past 3 years. They cannot continue to go round and round and round, being so diplomatic, being so ethical, being so politically correct in this case, while his health is deteriorating and he has not been afforded the best medical care that he deserves in detention. So he was bold enough to look the judge in the eye and tell her the bitter truth, which is according to the Constitution, according to the law, that she cannot try him again in that very court. And that is the truth.
Anybody who disagrees with this order of God, go to appeal court. That's what you tell me all the time. You have come to submission. You cannot decide over this case number again. What is this life? You cannot. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. And one over here cannot force these courts to preside on my case. You cannot. Not today, not till forever. You are recused and you stand recused. Tell the chief judge, Nnamdi Kanu said, to honor me. I recuse him from my case. The state recused Justice Adema from my case. I did not insist. Adema must hear my case. I never insisted. So why must you insist to hear my case? I don't want to hear my case. I don't need you in my case. You are biased. You are biased. You cannot be in my case. I don't know to do the right thing. A chairman of the board of Benjamin's constitution is impropriety. Nowhere in the world such nonsense come. You cannot be hobnobbing with lawyers, hobnobbing with justices, and you're putting a case. It's shameful. Absolutely shameful. Shameful. This is a court of law. This is a shrine to injustice. And I will not subject myself to it. You stand recused and you must make my case. You cannot fight me.
Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, it is important you subscribe to this channel. One thing I promise you, which I have maintained since I started broadcasting and uploading content, is that I will always provide you with the truth. Whether it has to do with the issue of Biafra or Nnamdi Kanu, I will always maintain the truth. Whether it is any other content about your well-being, your personal issues, as a man of God, as a pastor, I will always provide you with the truth. Subscribe to this channel. It is the channel of truth. Like the broadcast, share it, that others may also get hold of it. We must continue. We must continue.
This man is not paying attention. There is an order of recusal, and it's a senior advocate for goodness sake. There's an order of recusal. Is that not the rule of law? The law says if you disagree with this, you go and appeal. You are a grown-up man. Because of 300 million, you're behaving like a child. Go and appeal. Because of money. Because of money that paying you from ATM office, you are here standing and smoking evil. Because of money. A grown-up man like you. You say you are to behave like a man of honor. The rule of law says you go and appeal. His lordship later you don't have time like this. Not on this planet Earth, I'm telling you that now. So stop wasting your time. They're not well, I'm telling you, this is what I'm telling. This is an order of God. An order of God says, Justice Nnawuihe is refused. An order of God. Order she made as an order. The same Chief Justice writing the stupid memo he's writing. I recused him. He was functions official. He sat on appeal. I took him to the NJC. I recused him. Why did he not say I must sit on your case? Why in the case of his lordship? Is he insisting? He wants to embarrass her. He wants to embarrass your lordship by asking her to come and stop this case. Is that what you're saying? That's an order of give it to him. He doesn't have it. Give him an order of God. It's an order of God. Give it to him. He doesn't have it. And order give it. He doesn't have it. It's an order of God. It's an order of God. Tell him lies. If you insult yourself, I will insult you. If you have no respect for yourself, I will insult you. Because people are telling the law, when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu, you don't the law upside down. The law says something. If the law says this paper is white, when I go to God, they say it's black. When I say it's black, they say it's white. Is that law? And as you see now because of Nigeria, is that law? It's the memo from Chief Judge. It's memo from Chief Judge sufficient set aside as a court order. Yes, there is no. Why do you?
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said right in the court? It was a question, a very straight and direct question that he asked them right there in the courtroom. That does the memo of the chief judge, the memo of the CJN, the chief judge of Nigeria, Is the memo of the Chief Judge of Nigeria competent enough, according to the Constitution, to set aside a court order? That is the question he asked them now. The memo, ordinary memo from a chief judge, is it competent? Is it powerful enough? Is it constitutionally guaranteed to set aside a court order? What is the process of vacating a court order? It is by appeal. Every one of us knows. We all know it. You don't have to be a lawyer to understand it. At least anyone that is up to the age of 30 and above, you should know it. It doesn't matter the type of case it is, whether it is a criminal matter, whether it is a civil matter, whether it is at the level of the customary court, magistrate court, state high court, federal high court, court of appeal, whatever order of court of competent jurisdiction has entered, the only way to overrule it, the only way to set it aside is by an appeal. You must go to appeal, not by a memo from a chief justice or the chief judge of Nigeria. Not a memo. It's not provided for in the Constitution of Nigeria. And now, by ordinary memo from the chief judge, Justice Binta Nyako was brought back to sit and to try the case of Nnamdi Kanu, which is contrary to the Constitution. And that is the case that Nnamdi Kanu is making right there inside the court. And they couldn't answer him. We must understand that our collective destiny as a Southerner or as an Easterner is at stake, and it is locked in the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria, in the person of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In response to you, my dear brother Oscar, and also other people that have commented, I appreciate all of your comments in the chat section. I am not against anybody's political inclination, religious inclination. We may differ in our opinions, but we must collectively set aside our personal interests and philosophies, our academic qualifications, whatever we may have studied or read in school, our qualifications whatsoever, our expertise whatsoever, and look at the crystal clear, the naked truth that is staring us in the face, and embrace it for the collective well-being of our people. Whether we are in the diaspora, whether we are in Nigeria, it doesn't matter where an Igbo man is. It doesn't matter where a Southerner is. All our collective destiny as a people is locked up in the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria, in the person of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This has been my message for several years, and that is the truth.
His Lordship, Justice Binta Nyako, stand recused in my case. Cannot find me, what else to tell it? You need to get it on fire so you can do your matters for these people without shame. I have here before me for the benefit of my work because it seems nothing know the law. So I will tell you, this is national judicial policy of this country. Please give them a copy. National judicial policy of Nigeria. National judicial policy. I will tell you what it says. Because you don't know. I will tell you. Talking about memo from the chief judge of the High Court. Judicial policy of Nigeria. 1C. I'm reading. Govt. In the performance of judicial functions, the judge is subject only to the law and must only consider the law.
Did you hear what he read? Nigerian judicial function, their policy, that the chief judge must be subject to the law in carrying out his or her judicial function, which is to judge cases. That is her judicial function. That the judge is subject to the Constitution, not subject to the memo of the chief judge or from the presidency or from the governor. That is the judicial policy. That is it. That is what he read out now. Why is it that Chief Sunday Igboho is not subjected to these rigorous and shambolic legal processes? Why? This is why our people need to understand that we are being treated differently because of our peculiarity and our ingenuity, our potentials, and what we are capable of doing as a people. And this is why they can go at length to distract us with different kind of appeasement, different kind of trivial issues, different kind of promises, political promises. I heard Chief Arthur Eze in Ebonyi State during the campaign rally of Muhammadu Buhari. I had him. I cannot lay my hand upon that very clip now. Let me see if I can be able to bring that clip. Chief Arthur Eze, which is an Igbo billionaire that many of you respect so much, he made a categorical statement that the Igbos need to vote for Muhammadu Buhari, that it is only Buhari that will give the Igbo man power, that after he rule or after his tenure, that he is going to hand over power to the Igbo man. I am trying to see if I can lay my hand on that clip. I want to bring it because we have been distracted a lot. Our people have been distracted a lot. When Professor Chukwuma Soludo went to the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria, some people say, oh, he has gone there to release Nnamdi Kanu. He has gone there. Some people didn't understand it was for political interest and reasons. How many years down the line that he went to the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still there? How many years? How many years? We can't be distracted all the time, and we can't still understand that we are being distracted. The future of the Igbo man, the future, the collective of the Igbo man or the Biafran, the Southerner, is locked away in the DSS dungeon in Abuja, Nigeria. And the first step of that liberation, bringing it to realization and accomplishment, is to release Nnamdi Kanu. And secondly, the Biafra referendum. This we need to understand. That is the truth. I can't find that very video of Arthur Eze right now. I cannot find it, and I don't want to be distracted. I am going back to the video on the screen. I'm going back to it. Please, thank you for still being here with us. Share the broadcast, like this broadcast, share the broadcast, and I welcome all your comments.
The rule of law in every common law jurisdiction in the world is that once an order of court is entered, the only way to take aside it is by going on appeal. That's the rule of law. But it's not okay, you don't know. I will go to see. A judge must not take or attempt to take orders or instructions of any kind from anyone, to the judge, from anybody that may influence his decisions in the performance of judicial function. It means that his lordship having entered an order of court.
Now we go to the next.
Listen, this is the laws of Nigeria. The prosecution, and this court doesn't know the law. That is the fact. Yes. Poor knowledge of the law is killing Nigeria. Poor knowledge of the law, they don't know the law. This is a federal gazetted law of Nigeria that says here that the chief judge of Nigeria cannot tell Bita Yako what to do. It's here. It's your law. Just obey it. That is why I do what I do. I agitate for Biafra. I agitate for Biafra, my right to agitate. My right. They turned it from visible felony now to terrorism. Stop talking when I'm talking. We can negotiate today for the simple reason that she has no jurisdiction to try me. None whatsoever. I came out of competition and respect. She stands released from my case and cannot try my case. There are things that are happening in this country that a lot of you do not know. It is my duty to make that very, very clear to all of you today. Because the lies are too much. The lies are too much. I sent a petition to NJC, I don't want to talk about it. Justice Binta Nyako is using her position for personal gain. For personal gain. Her son and her husband are facing corruption charges. And they told them that if they convict me, this is what happens. You can see it. They don't want the truth to come out. Nobody wants the truth to come out. Nobody wants the truth to come out. Nobody wants the truth to come out.
I hope you are listening.
That's the problem. Corruption charges. They sent back to my case so they can release or smoothen the pathway for the husband and the son. They are facing, it doesn't matter the office. In the corrupt society, that's what happened. They are very, very corrupt. There is a breach of judicial oath. They have violated the judicial oath. They have shown bias according to Supreme Court. They are biased against me. Supreme Court said so. And that is why what is happening in the judgments and rulings concerning me has been happening. So, disobedience to superior court orders. Supreme Court said you are biased. You are against this man. You should not have got this bail. Nigeria went to Kenya and kidnapped him. These things are in the public domain. Why therefore are they insisting on trying him? A court order was entered. In that very court order, it was said very clearly and simply that she is no more. No. That she is no more going to try me. Why are they insisting? Why are they insisting? I ask you. Because they have no case against me. They have no case against me, and they know it.
And that is the simple truth. They have no case against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They have no case. This case is closed. I stand by my word. I stand by my word. As I said on the 15th of December, 2023, I'm bringing it back, and with that, we're going to bring this broadcast to an end. I made that very statement on the 15th of December 2023, being the day of the Supreme Court judgment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And today, everyone agrees with me that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no case.
To understand it
in Nigeria.
I'm going to explain later. It is victory for the Supreme Court to have said today that the extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu was unlawful. Now that the case is going back to Federal High Court, where Justice Binta Nyako is presiding. Justice Binta Nyako nothing contrary to what the court said today. The Supreme Court is the highest court. They do not rule against the judgment of the higher court. The case of Nnamdi Kanu has ended today, technically, in Nigeria. Listen to what I'm saying. Oh, listen that you may understand it. That's to follow up. The case of Nnamdi Kanu has officially and technically ended today in Nigeria. Because Supreme Court to have said that the extraordinary rendition of the card was not lawful. It was not lawful. It means now that the matter is going back to the Federal High Court, where Justice Binta Nyako is sitting. Justice Binta Nyako court is lower court, Her court is a lower court. Her court cannot rule anything contrary to the judgment of the Supreme Court today. Therefore, that is the end of the case of Nnamdi Kanu, because the process that brought him.
That was exactly what I said about on the 15th of December 2023. And that is the truth. I stand by my word. How many years down the line? Is it not what we're seeing today? Is it not what we're witnessing today? So the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu, I'll be making a broadcast about the legal team of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And I'll be making a broadcast regarding those who are holding the release of Nnamdi Kanu, who doesn't want him to be released. I'll be making specific broadcasts on these two different issues I've mentioned now. I will be making, number one, a broadcast about the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu. I'll be making a broadcast about them. And I'll be making a broadcast about those who doesn't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Two categories of live broadcast on this very platform, on this very channel. Please, if you have not subscribed yet, try and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button so that when I upload any content on this channel, you will be first to be notified. And when I come live on air, you will also be notified. Thank you very much for watching. I am Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe. From me from here, it is goodbye. And please download this song that is playing now. It is in the description section. The link to download this song that is playing is in the description section of this broadcast. It is in the description section of this broadcast and other video on this channel. On Audio Mac, this song is dedicated to you, is dedicated to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is dedicated to all the people who are suffering in Nigeria, is dedicated to the Igbos, whether those in Lagos, who are affected by different kind of challenges of the country, those who are suffering, those who are in the street, being affected by misrule and very terrible governance in Nigeria. I dedicate this song to them. I release this song as a way of praying to God and encouraging the people and those who are in different kind of pains, and more especially Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So if you go to the description section of this broadcast and other videos on this channel, you will see the link to listen to this song and download it from Audio Mac. The title of the song is Turn Things Around by Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe. God bless you.
Everywhere you go, it is cries of suffer, tired, suffer, from the